pen in the palm of my hand. Bad little flex wanna play by the coast. Carry the torch, I'm way up, it's litty wherever we flow. I came from the cold, used to rest on the floor and stitch up my wounds, was born a soldier. Flipping the struggle, I'm taking it worldwide. Hold it down when you talk to me. Say it is what it's supposed to be. Say it loud, but I mean it too, yeah. Talk that good when you talk to me. Say it nice and I give it to you. You know my word is litty wherever we flow. I came from the cold, used to rest on the floor and stitch up my wounds, was born a soldier. Flipping the struggle, I'm taking it worldwide. Hold it down when you talk to me. Say it is what it's supposed to be. Say it loud, but I mean it too, yeah.
Welcome to Dinner with the Coaches. I am your host, Nadira Lewis, and I have my wonderful co-host with me, Thomas Taylor.
Good evening.
What's going on, partner?
Hey, how you doing? Simply
Doing
marvelous,
well.
better than good and better than most. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence, young lady.
Well, thank you. Likewise, sir. You are an amazing visionary coach. I thank God for you being present to keep me afloat in the vision. Are amazing. I tell you, God will connect people together for a reason, and you have your expertise and your gifts, and I thank God for that. So talk to us about our guest today. We have an amazing guest tonight with us that we're going to be talking about something really important. So Thomas, you want to go ahead and introduce our audience and let them know what we're getting ready to get into.
Yeah, well, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Our guest is a man by the name of Rodney Epps. I've known Rod for a few years, actually a few decades, and every time we connected, we've been involved in different businesses. He was always on the leading edge of technology and marketing, from ClickFunnels, to advertising, to landing pages. He's done courses. He actually went to school to get his master's on it. He's been in the room with some of the greatest minds in the world in California, all to be on the cusp of the leading edge of marketing and technology. So tonight, what we're going to discuss is how well do we really understand internet marketing, right? So in this information age, between all of these different types of communication apps, right? Like it almost seems like one is being developed every so much. You think you're ahead of it, and then next thing you know, you got TikTok, right? Like, it's like it's almost like in the world of electronics, right? Like it's happening so fast, it's hard to stay in front of. So Rodney's an individual who's always on the leading edge of technology, as well as what's going on in the marketplace. But what he does is he connects the internet aspect of it, right? The virtual, as well as, AI, artificial intelligence, right? Like he's involved in all these different things because he's figured out how, a term that we always talk about, how to work smarter and not harder, right? So he's mastered that. So it's going to be a good conversation this evening.
You always bring some interesting people. I tell you, you definitely bring some interesting guests that really kind of gives us a different perspective. And I see the value in that. And so you guys are in for an amazing treat today. So without further ado, before we introduce our guest, we're going to go ahead and play this video real quick. And the next person you'll see beside us is our guest, Rodney Epps. We'll see you in a few moments.
I want you to remember that God's created everything you see. He breathed it into existence. Remember when his people were caught up in slavery? He rescued them. What he did was he parted the sea, and he made a way for them, and then he delivered their enemies to them, and he unlocks wombs, and he provides water from a rock, and he provides manna from heaven, and he brought down the walls of Jericho. He froze the sun, allowing victory. He's toppled giants with tiny stones. He's brought fire from heaven. He shut the mouths of lions. He preserved life in the belly of a well. He's fed thousands with a few loaves. He gives the weak strength. He heals the sick. He's made the blind see, the deaf hear, the mute speak, the lame walk, and he's overcome evil, and he's made a way through death for you and me by the death and the resurrection of his son, Jesus Christ, that we will live with him forever. We will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever and ever and ever. What are we afraid of? His resume is flawless. He controls everything. And he loves you.
All right, and we are back here with my favorite co-host, or should I say host, because I don't really consider him a co. He is one of the hosts here at Dinner with the Coaches. So we also have our guest with us, Rodney Epps. Welcome to Dinner with the Coaches. Woo!
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, by the way. Thanks for having me.
So Thomas, you want to go ahead, and Thomas is really good, y'all, as you all know that watch is really good at introducing our guest. So I know when to sit back and let Thomas do his thing.
Hey, good evening. Hey, welcome, Rod. Welcome. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Man. Glad to be here, Thomas.
Known Rod for a lot of years, almost probably 2 decades almost. It's just been that long. We've been involved in different businesses. And I introduced you, Rod, was a internet marketing guru, right? Like somebody who actually been involved in it for a long time. I know you was going to school to get your master's, probably already completed that by now. You've been in a room with a lot of the top masterminds in the country, right? Going over how to stay on the leading edge of technology, artificial intelligence, right? Internet marketing, like all of these different things, and then link them together and then create several businesses from that, right? So in the beginning, just kind of, give the listening audience a little bit of your background, Rod.
Appreciate that, and thanks for having me today on your call here, your webinar. I've been in it for a while, but I didn't really believe in it. I ended up losing a company. I lost over $1.2 million. I used to own a cosmetic company that had products for African American men who suffer from pseudofolliculitis, Bobby, ingrown hair, and I was used to the belly to belly, face to face contact. One of the guys of the company I was with, he said, Rod, there's this thing called the internet that's taking place and you can do all your promotion online. And I said, listen, buddy, this is the face-to-face contact business. I'm not getting on no internet to talk to anyone. So this guy ended up going to the seminar and realized that he didn't need me anymore, right? And decided that he had literally took the company from me, snatched it from me.
Wow.
Went on to make over $18 million. And then, of course, turned back around and sued me if I decided to sell the product that I had at the time. So, man, it was devastating for me. I said, man, what do I do? Ran away with my tail between my legs, what I'm going to do. End up losing my business, right? And hiding in a place that no one knew I was at because I was embarrassed, because I thought I was going to change the destiny of my family. And years later, I got involved in the industry of home-based business, trying to make it back again, because you got to keep in mind, I was getting ready to sell my company for $1.2 million when I got hit with the multi-million-dollar lawsuit, right? And I said, man, I got to learn this thing called the internet. How does it work? I was buying courses, going to training, then back in 2011 when my mom died, I went to ministry school, and the company I was with went out of business. And now my wife and my daughters, right, they're not working. I'm not able to provide for my family. I said, I have to learn this internet marketing thing quick. And of course I discovered it. I ended up, I invested a lot of money in it, and later it changed my life. And what I realized, Thomas, it was the industry that we was part of in the relationship marketing. It's the same thing, right? I learned that we have to build a funnel in order to build a business, and no one is doing it at all. And you got to keep in mind, our industry is changing. Our world is changing. This is the first time in history that you have 4 generations working at the same time. That never happened before. You have the industrial age working. You have the baby boomers working at the same time. You have the Generation X working at the same time, and millennial. And guess what? Everyone is fighting, and they're angry because the old people are taking their job, right? And you wonder why they don't respect us. They know you had your opportunity to get out of the way now, right? You're supposed to be educating and leading us a different direction. All right. And when I begin to learn that, I said, then when I begin to learn also, I can market to the Generation X. I mean, the Generation X or the industry of the baby boom at the same time. I want to give an example. I called my grandmother years ago, right? And I said, "Hey, grandma, how you doing?" She said, "Baby, the telephone bill is high." I said, "No, grandma, the telephone bill is unlimited right now." "Well, baby, send me a letter," and hung up the phone. I said, "What happened?" Because she's using the telephone bill being $3 or $4 a minute. She didn't want to talk whatsoever. I said, "This is interesting, right?" And then, of course, the generation, the baby boomers, right, say, "Hey, just give me a phone call." And right, the generation X say, "Hey, send me an email." The millennials say, "Send me a text message." Completely different. Everyone have a completely different way of receiving information, and we have to understand how to market to them. So that's why I really got interested, because there was more of a psychology behind it more than anything, how to reach out to people, how to grow your list. And that's what I'm all about, Thomas. So again, thanks for having me here on your call today.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. You said a couple of key things. Like, we always talked about how information should be transferred from generation to generation, but it almost seems like that information has caught up because it's moving so fast. It's almost moving at the speed of light to the point where now, the baby boomers are actually being trained by the millennials, right?
Yeah,
because
true.
I know individuals have created markets helping, older people even learn the computer, how to turn it on, right? How to get email, like how to do just these simple things, How about yourself, Nadira? Your experience in just the internet marketing piece, Nadira?
I think that's so true. I think the way he put it, he just said it. I thought it that way. I've always thought like that. He just put the words to it. And I always say that, and I think that's why I do what I do so well, is because you have to learn how to communicate, right?
Yes.
To your audience. And just because you can have 3 different companies advertise the same product 3 different ways.
That's
right.
Mm.
And I mentioned last week on the broadcast with Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is the same way. Coca-Cola understands its audience. So Coca-Cola is very strategic when it comes to how they present that same drink across how many generations? They've always been able to evolve, and they're selling the same drink, but they're selling it different to each generation.
Yes.
And that's how I look at it when it comes to when I do my videos. That was one of the things that clicked in my head, is how do I take my authentic talent, right, and be able to present a product or service. Now, you can learn from other people about the basis of how to market and how to market. But when it comes to your authenticity, I realized that I didn't really need instructions on how to do what I did naturally. What I needed coaching is how to be authentic, right? So once I began to be more authentic, I realized that my gifts and my talents started to just explode. And I started becoming more and more creative in the internet field, because I realized I have to know who I'm talking to. And once I know who I'm talking to, I have to figure out all the psychology that goes behind what they think. And so if I would say anything when it comes to internet marketing, you have to know your audience. And you have to be able to know the psychology, how they think. Like you said, your mother, was thinking one way, right? So I know in my generation, if I'm talking to women in the ages of 24 to 55, I know I have to be at a place where when I'm doing my videos, I have to be able to reach every person. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Confirmation.
Yeah.
Because talking about what is the new television now? New television is YouTube. That's YouTube. New television. Yeah. What's the new radio now? New radio is podcast.
Yeah.
Right. So it's changing. It's changing. What is the billboards? The new billboards is banner ads. The game is changing every single day. And guess what? And we have to be on point with it, or we'll completely lose this game. And I tell people that all the time. We got to understand it's a massive opportunity. And here's the thing that we also forget is still about building relationship.
Yes.
Right. Building relationship. Tommy, you notice I teach a class. It's called the 12 Stages of Intimacy. Right.
Yeah.
It's the same way on the internet. Right. What's the first stage of intimacy? Right. Is eye to body. When that person sees that person body, her or him. So, wow, she's fine. Oh, he look good. Right. That's the first stages. Then guess what is eye to eye. Right now they eye to eye. Now they're voice to voice. They're speaking. Then they go hand to hand. Then they go hand to shoulder, to hand to waist, and face to face. They're kissing. They go all the way to that final stage with boom, chicka, chicka, boom, boom. Right? You know what that is, right?
That's really good.
But think about this though. Notice if they go from out of body and they going to chick boom, 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 right? That was an assault, sexual assault. That's it was an indecent relationship, right? And we're doing the same thing online right now, right? We want someone to see us and say, hey, let's do business together. Guess what? It's not going to happen. Or if it does happen, it doesn't last long whatsoever. So I tell people, you got to take them through the proper stages. That's what the funnel is all about, right? You got to feed them some content. You got to give them some good information. You got to give value in advance. And most people, there you go. Most people are not willing to do that. You got to build a relationship with them.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you, Raj, so kind of take us through, a condensed version of how to obtain a client, right? Because a lot of individuals that are listening, they actually have businesses, in business or in the process of obtaining a business. So from a internet marketing standpoint, on this highway of World Wide Web, right? These internet marketing streets, kind of take us through how we can obtain a client. You talked about those 12 stages. So just kind of condense it to see if, our listening audience can understand, like, how would you obtain a client?
Well, first thing, I speak of having a funnel, right? You have three types of funnels. You have the top of the funnel, you have the middle of the funnel, and you have the bottom of the funnel. The top of the funnel is all about awareness. Hey, I'm over here, right? You got to get their attention. You have to do that, right? The middle of the funnel is the education phase, right? And the bottom of the funnel is all about the conversion stage, right? The conversion stage can be, they're looking at reviews about you, right? Or you give them a sample trial of the product. The middle of the funnel, again, is the education process. I'm going to give you content. I'm going to give you value in advance. And the first stage is awareness. So you want to create something to create the awareness for the process. Perfect example. I'm looking at this right here. The awareness stage can be in the social media, right? Perfect example. I was dealing with a customer there in the travel industry, right? So they put something together saying, learn how you can travel at wholesale, right? There's 7 things you need to do to travel at wholesale. That's awareness stage. And now the person reading that information, instead of them taking them straight to their website, hey, become a travel agent, right? Now, once they do that, they take them to the second stage, what we call the two-way communication, conversion, meaning you want to get them engaged. I created a survey. It can be a survey, right? It can be, matter of fact, Thomas, I will get that over to you and Nadia also. There's a 72-point checklist that we use that is showing what they need to put in each part of the funnel. Right. So we want to have a two-way communication. We want them to be engaged with us. It can be a survey, right? They're asking questions. They're perfect example. They're coming and looking at this webinar, right? And you got them communicating. The third way is you're granting them permission to proceed. Meaning, perfect example. On that paperwork that we did for the travel agency company, said, learn how you can travel at wholesale, right? And 7 things you need to know about traveling wholesale. So when they get there and they watch that video or they download that documentation, right? They say, guess what? There's one more that no one know about. This is my top secret. Only way you can get this, you have to opt in for it, right? They proceed them to keep going with the process, right? Now, once they do that, right? Now they can say, guess what? You can have a trial period. You can have a 7-day trial period of our travel platform, or you have a one-on-one consultation. Lawyers do it all the time. 15-minute consultation. Yeah. Right. I want to give you an example. One of the biggest, we call it a tripwire. One of the biggest tripwire that we ever seen. Right. You ready for it? Prepaid legal. Most people don't know that. Right. Yeah. You pay $27 a month. Right. It's a tripwire. That's all it is. But guess what? When you really need them, now you got to pay a wholesale fee, but you're in their funnel. That's what's powerful about the whole process, right? Because I got to get you to spend money sooner or later. When you're driving down the road and you see a sign of storage unit say $1 move you in. You remember that? Yeah. Or something, a free trial. All those are what we call trigger trustwise, tripwires. We got to get them to take money out of the wallet. I was telling one of my friends the other day, he was running an advertisement, but he just giving everything away for free. I said, you in the friend zone. So what you mean? I said, you just keep giving everything away for free, right? And you remember that guy in school, he's taking the girl books to class, he's buying her a drink, he's buying her stuff from the cafeteria. Then he finally get the nerve to say, hey, I want to have a relationship with you. She said, no, we're friends. He's in a friend zone. As soon as he asked the audience to buy from them, you know what they said? You just want our money. I said, because you've been giving them so much stuff, you had to convert them over sooner or later. You never did that. Here's the next stage, right? The excitement, the wow stage. Are you wowing them? Are you getting them excited about your product? Tesla understand it very well. Tesla process was they would put you in the car, right? And you would drive it, and they would take you on the back road and say, now, hit the gas, right? You hit the gas, and within split seconds, you're at 60 miles per hour. You say, wow. That's the wow moment you got to give them. Are they really excited about your product? Now you can begin to upgrade them. Do you want the 4-door, 2-door? Do you want the sunroof? Do you want the leather seat? It keep going on and on and on. Then once we do that, now I can say, once you fall in love with it, now you begin to advocate for it. You tell people about that. And then they begin to refer people over you. So that's the process. It's a unique funnel that you have to use. And I love to get that over to you guys, that you can that you can see how it works from the beginning to the end. I don't do nothing without building a funnel. I don't do anything without building a funnel, because if you don't do it, guess what? You just throwing your money away. I see people do it all the time. They just throwing money to the wind, not understanding what they're doing at all. Okay.
Wow.
That's what I consider. That is strategy. And that is what a lot of businesses are missing in their building of their businesses. Is Thomas asked the question, how do you get clients? Well, the first thing is, if you don't, strategy and being able to know your ideal client, knowing knowing who they are, what they like, knowing what keeps them up at night.
Yeah, where are they hanging out at? Are they hanging out on Facebook? Is it on LinkedIn? Right, I had a guy, Nadia. He was
Nadira. It's called Nadira.
Nadira. Okay. Sorry about that, Nadira.
Oh, it's okay.
I had a guy who was on the. He was promoting his company. It was a janitorial. I mean, it was a full polishing company, but he was advertising on Facebook. Right. I said, you're in the wrong spot. He said, what you mean? I said, your audience is not hanging out there. I said, who are the people you're doing business with? He said, I do business with B2B. I said, you need to be on LinkedIn. Right. Some people need to be on Pinterest. Some people need to be on Facebook. Some people need to be on YouTube. Right. You got to go where your audience is hanging out at. I had a lady, she was working the product she had. Right. It was talking about, she was educating mothers about breastfeeding. Right. And she had a challenge. Said, how do I find my audience? What we did, we said, well, let's work on this right here. We went to Amazon and we found books on breastfeeding. Right. And what we did then, we went to Facebook and found out people was reading those certain books. We found our audience hanging out on Facebook, right? Mothers soon to be. So you have to find your audience. If you don't do your homework in advance, guess what? You're just throwing money away. And keep in mind, Facebook have changed the game. Facebook said you got to pay to play in this game right here. There's no free advertisement, And one thing about Facebook also, you can promote on Facebook, but you know something? Only 5 to 10% of people will see your advertisement whatsoever. Facebook will not show it to your whole organization whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the algorithm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They want you to put, because a lot of big companies are buying in, and they're making you have social proof.
Yes.
They want to see. That's why when I do my actual advertisement, I put my links in the comments. Because before, it used to be just a matter of paying for engagement, because that engagement, reduces the amount of cost it is when it comes to running the ad. Now we want social proof. We want to see that people are actually following you. And the more people, that's why the engagement is great, because when you have that engagement, that's social proof. And then it becomes easier and cheaper to actually do the ads. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I agree with you on that. And one thing about Facebook, that's why you have so many influencers on any media right now. They're popping up everywhere. And most people don't realize the power of that. And I always use take a triangle, right? In the triangle, you put 3 lines in it. On the bottom of that triangle, you call it the generalist, right? Like the biggest part of the triangle, the generalist, meaning you go to a doctor and he look at you and say, interesting. I've never seen this before. I'm going to send you to a specialist, right? And then that specialist, this is interesting. I got to send you to the next level up. Is the individual, he wrote a book on the subject. He's an authority in the industry. Then the next one up, the tip part of it, he's a celebrity. He's Dr. Oz, right? Who can deal with your problem. So again, we got to work our way up until we become that celebrity. You don't have to be famous to do it. But you got to make your audience think you're famous when you're doing it for them. And you do that by feeding them content. You do that by giving them great articles. Now, I tell people, say, well, how do I get articles? Right? Always use PLRs for my articles. I can feed articles all day long to individuals. I don't have to write articles whatsoever.
I taught that in one of my courses, the importance, and the people don't understand. It's definitely,
Got to feed them good content, right? You got to keep them entertained, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Rod, based upon your world of experience, what can you tell people about the negative pitfalls to watch out for? Because you kind of mentioned really understanding your market, right? Understanding your funnels and making sure you don't end up in the friend zone. So what are some of the pitfalls that you've seen throughout your, years of experience?
Well, falling in love with a product because I'm in love with it. My audience is not in love with my product at all. I'm in love with my product. I think it's the greatest thing since ice cream, right? I'm going to make millions. I had a guy say, "Mister, I'm going to make billions with this product." I said, "You're going to make billions?" I said, "Guess what? Someone is already selling it. Someone is always promoting it. Have you did your homework yet? So you got to test it out. You got to find out is it pretty good." And sometimes you can't go to your friends, right? Because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They say, something. They say, "Hey, it's a good product. I think he's going to do it." But did they buy it from you, right? So are you making sales? And one of the biggest mistakes is that also, and I always say this, guys, most people, marketing is kind of interesting, right? Most people don't realize the same effort that it takes to sell a product for $5, the same effort to take to sell a product for $1,000. Right. And think about this. I'd rather sell a product for $500, $1,000, right, and get 100 customers and make 6 figures, and then have to sell a product for $5 and have to get 50,000 customers in order to make a profit. And the reason why, when I'm talking with most customers, I say, "Okay, tell me about your product." When they tell me about their product, I say, "How much you selling it for?" I say, "Oh, something, I won't be able to help you out." Because guess what? It costs to run advertisement. So the biggest challenge that people face, they have no advertisement budget whatsoever. So you can't do nothing with them at all. Right. So I think that's one of the biggest things, Tom, that when I'm working with someone, I say, "What is your budget? What is the budget that you have in place in order to market?" If they don't have enough money for budget for marketing for 2 to 3 months, guess what? I'm wasting my time. And plus, I try to deal with individuals. Well, put it this way, you want to make sure they have a budget. That's the most important thing. Want to have a budget, and you don't fall in love with your product, Thomas, but you want to test it out. And most people don't do that. I'm guilty of working with clients, and they only had a small budget. Right, and we did no testing, right, and on the second or third month they say, "I'm out of here, it's not working."
Wow.
Right? It become dangerous. Dangerous. So I don't do that at all anymore. I'm very selective about who I work with.
I definitely have to second emotion to that, because most people think in business I want to make money now, and it takes money, because you have to go through the testing process to test the idea and to see if that idea is something that somebody needs. And so most people don't have the patience because they're in business for right now. So it's like, I want to make the money right now. And it takes a while. It takes a while to go through that process. It took me, and most people, when they see you make money and they see you make it fast, they think you just started, not realizing that you've spent months to years testing and putting things out there. So that money that you see that you're making quick is because you've already identified who your audience is, what they want. And now you're prepared. Just like I gave this illustration, I think, in one of our other broadcasts. And I said, if you have a headache, right, and I have a leave or Tylenol, the headaches will search me out, right? Because I have the pain. I've made it known that I have what it takes to get rid of your headache, right? So if I have a product that's been proven to help, which is my testimonials, that's been proven to help other people, they're going to be more apt to really buy, because they're going to be like, "Wait a minute, this person bought from her, that person bought from her, and they're doing well and they're successful. So I know that I can trust, because they know, like, and trust you." So there's a process that you have to go through to get those instant sales. It takes work.
Yeah, that's true. I love that. I love that. And most people never figure that out. It takes them, because bottom line, it's taken me almost 3 to 4 years. I've been in this game since 2011. Right. I had a guy came in and said, he flew down when I was living in San Diego, he flew down and said, "Hey, Rod, I want to work with you. I got some work for you to do." And then he came and said, "Hey, something, I'm going to open up my own marketing agency." I said, "Really?" Right? It's just like going to court trying to represent yourself. The judge doesn't like that at all, right? I said, "This is incredible." I said, "So you're going to start your own marketing company?" And guess what? He took a lot of people money, and it was a tragedy, because it's a skill. It's a set skill. Again, keep in mind, I've been doing this since 2011. I'm learning stuff every single day. And Thomas, this. I go to training classes all over, because I'm learning, because the game is changing every single day. When I thought I had it, guess what? It's a new technology, right? Perfect example. This platform you're on right here. I promise you, only 1% of people even know about this type of platform that you're on right now. They have no idea. They're not learning about the different tools that you can use. Matter of fact, we have a bike offer that I love to give you, Assistant Lewis, right? You're gonna love it.
I'm all for the education.
Yeah,
I'm all for the education.
We're gonna give you 101 free tools that you can use, because tools are being created every single day, and that's what I use in order to help build my business. So I want to make sure you get that.
Okay, definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
And also, any orders you have, if you got at least 10 of them, I give 10 of them the account also. So just let me know who they are.
Oh, definitely. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have to do some after the show dinner with the coaches consultation.
Yeah. But let me say this right. I got to say something right. A new product that we added in. Thomas, you're aware of it. It was business credit. We added business credit in because we realized, especially in our community, right, we don't understand the power of business credit. Right. We have clients now who have business credit, and their credit scores $400 and $500. 400 FICO score. But it doesn't matter. Why? Because they operate strictly off their business credit. My son called me the other day and said, "Pop, guess what? My son, Dayon, right? He got 6 cars, right? And he rented them out on Toro. He do over close to $10,000 a month on Toro, right? And guess what? He purchased those cars with his business credit. They never looked at his credit one single time. And most people, when they setting it up, they're attaching that EIN number to their social security number. You cannot do that whatsoever. They don't know how to set up the LCC or the S corporation. If you know how to do that, you never ever have to use your personal credit for nothing whatsoever when you're building your business. And that's the biggest problem. Most people don't have the money, right? So now we're able to help people come in with $10,000 to $15,000 to market for the next 3 to 6 months. And we know they can succeed about it. We can help them build a fund out. We can help them put a website together. We can help them do all the testing they need to do, because that's very important. And one of the trainings that we went through, have you ever seen a Shark Tank?
Yeah.
And Damon John said, "Hey, I got my boys going to help you work with you." He was talking about digital marketing partners. It's the same organization I went through in order to get my training with. It's the same company. And I ended up going to, and then that wasn't enough, right? Then I went to Wholesale University to get my degree in marketing, digital marketing, right? And what I thought I knew, I didn't know nothing at all, right? Because the game keeps changing every single time.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are getting an airful. You know, we're about to take a break, and we're going to come back and get a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about, you know, how do you know, you mentioned earlier, Rod, when you have clients. So we're going to get a little deeper on how do you know which platforms to use, right? You mentioned there's a lot of tools that's constantly being created. Platforms are being created as well, right? Like we don't even know what the next one is coming down the pipe until it hits, and then it goes viral, and then everybody jumps on it. So when we come back from the break, we're going to kind of get into that a little bit deeper.
Sound good. Thank you.
Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1. Yeah.
Have you downloaded your Wisdom Digital Planner and Journal? If not, it's still time. Shop now at www.womanofproverbscoaching.com.
Let's go. Girl, I see you over there in the corner of the dance floor, and I know you're acting shy, looking at the corner of your eyes. So I pick my heart up off the floor, move my feet closer to yours, catch my breath.
I've done some terrible things in my life.
Some of them I chose to do.
And I own these choices.
But others, I just feel like I was swept up in a series of circumstances that didn't involve my will.
They just sort of happened to me.
I've become the culmination of those choices and circumstances.
So I guess I just need to say it.
I really need some help.
I'm Tracy Harris, and I help women in positions of leadership go from stalling to balling, taking back control of who they are so that they can create the lifestyle they desire. For more information, go to www.tracylharris.com.
Hi, I'm Sherman Q. Harrison, Herbal Naturopath. I help release individuals from a state of toxicity into natural wellness so they are able to go from dealing to healing. Book a call with me today at www.healbynature.org.
Crave it, and I am confidence coach. I empower female entrepreneurs find fulfillment by awakening their confidence. Find me at I am Kayla Cravit on Instagram. Let's unleash your confidence.
Hello, my name is Thomas Taylor III. I'm a visionary coach. I help business leaders align their dreams with their destiny so they can build a lasting legacy. So if that's you, you can reach out to me via Instagram at Thomas Taylor III, or you can follow me on YouTube at Thomas Taylor III, that's Taylor Your Dreams. That's Thomas Taylor III, that's Taylor Your Dreams. Until then, go out there and make it a great day.
All right, and we are back here with Dinner with the Coaches with our special guest, Rodney Epps, and my favorite host, Thomas Taylor III. And we are going to go ahead with our second segment. So, Thomas, go ahead and introduce our second part.
All right. Hey, well, I hope everybody is enjoying the topic we have here, but I want to pause for a moment and give Miss Nadira some props. Did you like those lovely commercials that she did?
Love it. Love it.
Incredible. Yeah, she is so talented, boy.
Thank you.
She can put those commercials together, boy. Advertising and marketing, that's her specialty.
I was going to grab some popcorn a while ago. This is powerful right here.
Oh my goodness, boy! It's good stuff, boy. She's good. But so far we talked about funnels, how to build funnels. Rodney talked about the top, the middle, the bottom of the funnel. He talked about tripwire. He talked about conversion, and then building a funnel. We also talked about how you actually want to make sure that you have a budget for marketing. Right. And Rod talked about some of the pitfalls. Don't fall in love with your product. Make sure you actually get your product tested. So in this last segment, Rod, let's kind of talk about the platforms, right? So you mentioned a few things that was key to me, whereas individuals have different types of products. And based upon your level of experience, you realize that different platforms you can do better based upon your product, right? Is there a formula for that, or is it trial by error? So what has been your experience with that when it comes to platforms?
Well, it's trial by error, but the goal of it is just to make sure you make less errors and putting it together. And the first thing that I do, Thomas, I'm doing an avatar. I'm trying to get a visual of what type of customer I have, right? I got to know the age range. There's a reason why when you go to Facebook or Pinterest or any of those websites, they say what age group you want to target, right? You want to know that age group. I was working with the transportation unit here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I said, hey, cool, let's talk about your age unit. They said, hey, we want anyone. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. You can afford to focus on anyone, right? The age is important. Is it going to be female and male, or going to be all both of them, right? Or are they married? Are they single? You need to know that information, right? Do they have kids, right? Because keep in mind, it's completely different when you're dealing with kids, a family with kids, or a family without kids, or a single mother, or a single father. It makes a big difference. People don't take that. They don't take that in consideration. So when I was in marketing school, we had to build a complete avatar, meaning put a name with it, right? This is Mary. She's single. She have one kid, right? She's a professional. She have 2 years of college. All that stuff is important, meaning it's a research we have to do before we move out into the market. Most people, when they're moving out to the market, what they're doing, I call it a shotgun effect, right?
Yeah.
You heard me say that before. There's like me and you going out in the woods, me and Thomas going out in the woods, Sister Lewis, right? And and what happened, Thomas, I pull out my shotgun and Thomas pull out his shotgun and Thomas getting everything ready. And I just start shooting, and Thomas said, what did you see? Yeah, what did you see? I said, man, I'll pray something running good into that one of those bullets there, man. That's what I'm moving for. That's how most people market. They have no idea, right? So again, I want to know their goals. I want to know what the goals and values are, what they're trying to achieve. We're going to put them into their happy spot, right? That's important to me. We're going to take them from 0 to 10, or 0 to hero. Perfect example, something that I love using. I use it called the heart of the sale, the heart of the conversion.
Okay.
Right. The first step, imagine you have 4 boxes, right? That first box, we call it the as is, their current situation. I got to know your current situation in order to help you out, right? The second box, right, is called the wish. There should be, where you looking to be in your situation, right? The third box, under the first box, right, is called the challenge, or what challenge you're facing. That's keeping you in box number 2. That keep you from your current situation, that your goals, and keeping you stuck in the where you don't want to be at. And the fourth situation is the rewards, right? Now think about this right here. The fourth one is reward. What would it mean to you, right, in order to help you overcome the challenges in box 3 and help you achieve your goals in box 2, right? And take out your problem and go in square one, right? And I tell people, I used to do this in seminars all the time. I said, matter of fact, when I met my wife, I went through the same process, right? When I sat down with her in a tent revival that night, I said, hey, do you have a boyfriend? Right? Do we give you flowers, right? Do you take out to dinner, right? I'm learning about all of her as-is situation, what this situation she's dealing with, right? Then I went to a wish list. Hey, what type of flowers you like, right? Where would you like to go out to eat at, right? We talked about that, and I went to the third box. The third box will stop you from finding that type of man can give you flowers and take you out to dinner and treat you like a queen and keep you by yourself, right? And then I go to the fourth box, rewards. What would it mean to you if I can help you overcome the challenges, not finding that man that can give you flowers and take you out to dinner, treat you like a queen, and keep you from being by yourself? See what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So if a person understands the structure, how to ask the right questions, right, you can find your ideal prospect every single time. Then guess what, Thomas? I want to know exactly what books they're reading, what books they're looking at, right? Because I promise you, if you were dealing with Colin Powell, he's not sitting down reading the Jetson, right? He's not sitting down reading cookbook. He's learning about war. If I'm talking to Oprah, everybody, I guarantee if you walk into any one house, guess what? You can learn what type of person they are automatically, right? What type of magazine they're watching, right? What type of blogs or websites they're hanging out at, right? What type of gurus they're following, right? Oh, that's my favorite one. I love to go into Instagram, right? I got a software that allows me to go to Instagram, right? I can put in a blockchain, and guess what? It gives me everybody in the blockchain arena. And most people don't know this. You can get the emails of individuals, which is because they agree to let you have their emails. Most people don't know that. If I'm looking for crypto, if I'm looking for travel, I can find every customer you're looking for on the Instagram, because guess what? That's what the title is all about. They're talking about that subject. And then the last thing, I want to know about what type of quotes they like, what type of occupation job they're working, right? What type of income they're in. Guess what? All that information is available, right? That's what makes Facebook, those social platforms, so important. And also, what objection would I face with them? One thing that I'm doing when I start the process of building an organization, one thing I do, I got a journal for my first 60 to 90 days. I'm writing down every objection that I'm facing with that individual. How can I come to that objection? How can I deal with it? So those things that I do, Thomas, and looking for the right person. The first thing I'm doing is building a complete avatar, meaning that may be one of the toughest tasks that I have before I begin my search of looking for the right customer. Okay.
Wow.
Because
that's what I do, client.
Like 50 Cent said, he said, all money is not good money. Right? Because you get the wrong customer, they can become a nightmare to you quicker. And plenty of time I say, guess what? I'm going to send your money back. There's nothing we can do to help you out, because you become a nightmare, right? Because you're taking the job just where you can get a paycheck, man. It's the worst thing you can ever do. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just revised my whole coaching program in my head, like.
Yeah. How about yourself, Nadira, in terms of platforms? Because you've been out there in the internet streets in terms of marketing and getting some feedback based upon different platforms.
I would have to say, once you've done your research and you've known, you have to look at the analytics of whatever platform that you're using. And Facebook has a way that you can look at the analytics, whether it's through ads, and sometimes there's a way to look at it free too. You can use software to determine that also. But I would say starting out is it's almost like throwing, you have to, there's no way to avoid. You're not going to just automatically know. You have to put yourself out there. And it's almost like seeing who's going to bite.
Yeah.
And once you're able to determine that over a period of time, you'll know which platform. I know that Facebook is something that I've been using long term, and I get a lot of response on Facebook. I have a lot of followers on all of my different platforms, but I know which platforms I get more engagement on because I look at the analytics. Facebook has gotten really good with the analytics at looking at, especially in the business part of Facebook. I think every business owner that is doing business on Facebook, you need to have a business page.
Yes.
If you're doing all of it on your personal page, you're missing a lot of information that is crucial to the analytical part. Look at me sounding all like I know what I'm saying.
You do. You're doing a good job also.
As Rodney said, go ahead, Sister Lewis. Go ahead, Sister Lewis.
But really though, like you need to have a business account with Facebook, because it gives you analytics when you're posting. It tells you who's engaging, where they're engaging from, what age range. And it's gotten better over the past couple of months. I've looked in my business part and I was like, wow, oh wow, I'm able to know that. So you definitely and like I agree with Rodney, if you tend to be more business to business, you definitely want to be on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is not a site that I've used very much. I do have a LinkedIn. I haven't really tapped into the fullness of how it operates, and that is something that starting next year I'm going to be moving into, because I realize in my experience I am doing a lot more business to business. So I need to be able to study that platform and how that works. So I basically use, and because now I'm more so setting into the video aspect, I'm really going in on TikTok. I'm really going in on Facebook stories. Most people don't understand that, because I know and I've studied. I heard somebody say this on Instagram, and they say you can go and post a picture or make a post on Facebook. You might have 7 to 10 likes. You do it on story, you'll have 300 views on story. So you have to monetize stories, because if you want to sell, like if you check my stories, I'm constantly putting things in stories, because Facebook is always bringing it before people. So people are going to see it, whether they respond to it or not. It doesn't matter. I'm trading attention for attention. So I'm doing whatever I got to do. And I'm using video and music because of the generation that we're in. I realized that in order to capture their attention, you have an average of 15 seconds to grasp somebody's attention. So I realized, okay, when I'm on these stories, the stories is 15 seconds. I've got 15 seconds to see who's watching my video, to see and if I get responses, I know, okay, great. So I definitely, for me, I like using stories, and then that stories lead them to somewhere else so that I can be able to spoon feed them. So I do have a process. Instagram, I really can't say I post to Instagram, but I would have to say my most thing is TikTok and Reels. Now Reels, we did a program on Reels last week. Reels is becoming the new, like I said last week, you can't get lost in the curve. If you're not able to transition, your business will fail. It doesn't mean you have to change your business model per se. You have to change how you represent yourself. Like I said in the example of Coca-Cola, you have to change how you represent or how you want to show. So I know that I'm a coach. I know that I'm an inspirational life and business coach. But I know there's 100,000 people that are like me out there, right? So I have to set myself apart. And I learned that when I was in school, Thomas. When I was in school for skincare.
Gotcha.
I thought to myself, there's 100,000 different skincare artists out there, right? Most of them, the majority of them go into makeup, right? They go into celebrity makeup. So what I did is I said, I'm going to start my own skincare line, right? So I knew I'm up against a whole bunch of people that are, Bath and Body Works. How am I going to fit in that group? So you know what I did? Before emails even came out, I would go to health fairs. And I would show up as I separated myself. So I would go in as a skincare specialist. So they had all these specialists for different things. And I would grab all the emails of everybody that came to my table. And so whether they bought something there or not, I was giving away free facials. And I would show up in their house. I didn't have any competition because now it's just you and I. It's that face-to-face contact, right? So now that free facial allowed me to use my products on your face and talk to you one-on-one, building that intimacy about what I can do for you. And once you experience my products, I never left the house and didn't make a sale. Never.
Incredible.
Never.
Incredible.
Wow.
So I think the point is that you first have to just get out there and figure out and pay attention. That's the thing. We don't pay attention to our audience. We don't pay attention. We do ads, we do videos. There's no call to action. There's no instruction on what to do. You're the expert. You have to tell them what to do. Once you get out there and you say, okay, I can help you with A, B, and Z. Now, in order for me to help you, I need you to do this. You have to tell them. People tend to follow people that tell them what to do more than letting you decide for yourself.
That's why they call you the expert. That's why they call you the person of authority. Absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really interesting. Go ahead, Rod.
And one of the tools that can help you out also is called SpyFu. That's one of my favorite ones. You know, because you can spy, just like what you was talking about analytics. You can learn about everyone analytics out there. You can know exactly who the audience is, where they're advertising, what type of ads they're running. Matter of fact, if you go to similar webs, right, you can see how many people come to the website every single day, right? So you know who your competition is. So if you say, hey, I don't have no competition, you're in trouble, right? You better have a lot of money if you don't have no competition. But if you have competition, guess what? You can make a lot of money because you can learn exactly what they're doing to be successful. And that's how really Burger King got into the scene. They couldn't afford to. People say they can't afford to compete against McDonald's, but they said, guess what? If McDonald's set up over there, they already did the due diligence, did their homework. We go set up across the street. That's what they did, right?
Wow.
So your competition is important. I got to know every time when I'm talking to my client, I say, who are your three competition? They say, I don't have no competition. Oh, well, you got to have competition, right? Let's talk about it here, right? I say, is anyone else doing anything you do? Oh, yes. But I don't have any competition. Oh, you got competition, right? So when I can show them what the competition is doing, and I want to give an example, right? I had a client, right? They would give me to run advertisement. They said, Mr. Epps, my advertisement budget is $500 a month. I said, oh, great. And I said, who is your competition? He said, well, this company is my competition, this company, and this company. I said, let's go to SpyFu. Went to SpyFu. I said, this is what they're doing every month on advertisement. This company is doing $7,500 a month on advertisement. This company is doing $45,000 a month on advertisement. This company right here doing $1,800 a month on advertisement. You only got $500. You can't beat them at all. You don't even play. You can't even play in the same game with them, right? And he didn't understand that because who's willing to pay? That's the person who will win every single time, right? So I can get in as many leads that I want. That's why I was telling you earlier. He said, "How do you get customers in that company we was talking about?" Right? I call him, "Hey, what is your time is worth?" I'm going to see you $25 a Bitcoin, right? My time is worth $50, Rod. Hey, can I buy 15 minutes of it right now? What's your Cash App? I was sending money on there. Do some people don't show up? No. Some people don't show up? Yes. But the majority show up because they're people of honor, right? So if I get them, if I can turn a glare into a stare, guess what? I got a client every single time, right? So it's powerful. It's a pretty powerful thing, man.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question before Thomas continues. You said there were two tools that you use. You said SpyFu or
SpyFu, SPYFU.com.
FU. Okay. And then you said Simulate Web.
Yeah, Similar Web.
Oh, Similar Web. Okay. Gotcha.
That's spelled SIMILARWEB.com.
Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead, Thomas. I'm sorry. I just had to get that in.
No. For the last couple of minutes, you believe it's almost the top of the hour already, ladies and gentlemen. It just goes so fast when you got so much value and you're giving so much content. We could talk about this all day. But Rod, in this last 5 minutes, what I want to talk about, and you said it kind of towards the latter part there, what do you suggest on how do we move our potential clients off of those platforms over to another platform where we can start to nurture them? What's your experience with that, Rod? Because we experienced a couple months ago, Facebook went down, everybody's running around with their hair on fire because I think sometimes they don't understand that those clients are not your clients potentially because they're on somebody else's platform. Can you speak on that?
I love that when people say, get off my Facebook page. It's not your Facebook page. You don't own it. It's not your media, right? So you got to have, number one, you got to have your own platform. Circle is the one of the most powerful one out there right now. Circle. I don't know if you heard of that. Circle. It's called Circle SO. You want to get that platform because it's set up just like Facebook. You want to bring them to that platform. I don't know if you ever seen the show
Circle SO.
Yeah, Circle. Circle. Circle SO, really powerful platform that you want to be a part of. You want to get on because you can control your audience. Because you ever seen the show Will Smith that he was on? He was teaching the guy how to date, how to pick up ladies.
Yeah.
Right. So you ever heard of pickup artists, guys who understand how to pick up girls in the club, right? Pick up a girl, they're genius at it, right? Because it's called bouncing. It's the same thing building a relationship online. I got to be able to bounce you from place to place, right? When you get received, perfect example, the guy in the club, he meet a girl, say, hey, you know, what's your name? Hey, can I buy you a drink? And they go over to the bar and you buy a drink, right? That was the first step, right? Say, hey, you know something, let's go sit over in the corner. Now they go sit in the corner, right? Say, hey, let's go play a game of pool. Every time they move to a different spot, he create a more intense relationship.
Yeah,
it becomes stronger and stronger. It's like, I know him. You know, I feel good about him. Hey, let's go outside and get some fresh air. Hey, let's go back on the dance floor and dance. Every time you take her to a different spot, guess what? The relationship just got more intense. Most people don't know that. It's the same thing when you're marketing online, right? When I send that email to you online, say, hey, guess what? Open up, right? White list this right here because it may go into spam. You want to make sure that you get my content because I'm going to send you 3 more emails. Now I say, guess what? Follow me on Instagram. When you follow me on Instagram, I'm going to give you a free vacation, right? Guess what? Make sure you open up the 3rd video, right? Matter of fact, schedule an appointment with me because I'm going to give you $25 a Bitcoin. Every time I move you to a different spot, guess what? The relationship just became more intimate. It became more powerful, right? And you have to do that, building a relationship. And we have to learn how to do that because, again, the game is changing, especially with COVID-19, right? Social distancing, it's real. Right, you hand a person a business card, and they go, "Oh no, I don't want that," right? Because they think you're trying to pass something on to them. So understand how to market online. Those things are important for us to understand, to learn. So it's all about bouncing from one step to the next step, and you can do it. I call it a bribe. You're doing it by offering them a bribe, right?
Okay.
Hey, but when you, like I told a customer the other day, hey, you know, I'm sending you an email. I need for you to white label this. Do you know how to do it? They said, no, let me show you how to do it, right? I taught them how to white label, put me in their top list, and it will never go to spam. Say, matter of fact, I'm going to send you an email tomorrow. Please open it up because it's going to give you steps how to collect your flyer, your vacation for 2, right? So guess what? Hey, we one-on-one. Please schedule an appointment, a one-on-one appointment with me because the more time that I connect with them, guess what? We have a better relationship. It's like I know you now, right? You know, you're not a stranger to me anymore. So you have to do that in order to begin to build a relationship with them. Hope I answered your question, Thomas.
Yeah, definitely, because those things that you talked about, you don't really hear people talking about it. Never even heard of circles. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you talked about, you know, bringing people to different platforms and then moving them. How about website, Rod? Like how about moving them to your own website? What's your thought process on that?
Yeah, it's your media. See, that's something you own. You know, notice what happened. And I tell people this is the perfect example. When you can shut down the most powerful man in the world, it lets you know how powerful social media is. They shut Trump completely down. They silenced him, right? And he realized on there, he said, guess what? I got to get my own platform. If he would have had that in place, guess what? They never could have shut him down. Facebook shut him down, the most powerful man in the world. So who do you think you are that you think you can see? Think about it, man. So that's why you see a lot of people moving to Circle. It's called Circle.so, right? They move it to different platforms. Or again, your web page, right, is your content. You own that. That's your digital space. You have to have your own space. I laugh at people when they're trying to build a business on Facebook. They're trying to build a business on Instagram. That doesn't belong to you. But you're trying to collect emails, right? They can shut you, those platforms, they can shut you completely down, right? So you got to be able to control that list at all times. Because you can hear from the giants like Russell Brunson, all of them. They say, guess what? Almost went out of business because one of the autoresponder shut us completely down. He said he had to lay off his employees because he had a list over 50,000, and when they shut him down, he said his list was completely gone. Right? So you got to have your own platform. It's a must if you want to survive in this. And that's one thing I really learned from digital marketing school more than anything. Those don't belong to you at all. Get your own platform. Get your own website. Build your own list. Right? Matter of fact, we just build our own. If you go to ybrhosting.com, we build our own hosting site. Right? Because we control it, right? And it was easy to do. All we did was with the Amazon, right? And we bought space at the big board, the same space they was buying, our own hosting site. So we sell hosting for our clients right now, and we don't charge those ridiculous prices every single year. There's a one price, and guess what? They're on our platform. It's pretty powerful. And also, did you know that Amazon have emails? You can send out cold emails from Amazon.
Now, is that through is that through when you said Amazon? Now, I know they recently they recently started I forgot exactly, it was like an AWS or something, or the AWS console.
Console.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm not really familiar with. I do have an account with them with that, because I think I heard about it with Netflix, because I know one of their biggest clients is Netflix. Netflix hosts their
videos on there, right?
On their videos on there. So
you want it, because keep in mind, a lot of people go to YouTube and put their videos on YouTube. You don't own that. They can go. Matter of fact, I go to YouTube all the time and download people videos and content and recycle it, repurpose it my own. You don't own that content because it's free. You stole my content. No, it's not your content, buddy. It's YouTube content, and I download it. I'm using it now. Right. Yeah. So you got to be cautious of that. So especially when you're doing coaching, what you're doing, training, guess what? Never put it on there. Put it on AWS, put it on Amazon. Right. You got to protect your intellectual property, because people can't take it from you.
Now GrooveFunnel does use, the one thing I do like about GrooveFunnel is that they do use Amazon when it comes to uploading your videos and content. And I'm sure, I think they should be at 100% of updating all of their stuff, but they have a lot of the funnels, the apps and everything. And they do it through Amazon. So that's how I was like, I had actually opened up an account. I'm not really that familiar with it, but you're making me go back and really go and study, a little bit more. Yeah.
And really, you don't even have to study. What Thomas will tell you is I have 11 virtual assistants work for me across seas, right? And they do everything for me. And here's the thing. I tell people, how do you get ahead? You got to have a team of people working with you all the time. I was just doing it by myself, right? So I got a guy who do website design. We got a guy to do graphic design. Thomas can tell you that. We got a female who do videos for us, right? And they're full-time employees. They're working for 24/7. That was the only way we was able to grow our business, by doing that. So and I didn't know how to do it, right? I could learn how to do it, but guess how much time would it take me to do it? So I got my guys. I say, guys, learn how to do this, and I'm going to pay you to learn how to do it. I pay them a bonus, right? I pay them a weekly salary. So it's one of the best things you can ever do. They would do it for you, and they know it better than you because they've been trained how to do it.
Exactly. Wow. Well, we at the top of the hour, you guys. As you can see, this is the reason why I wanted Rodney to be on this show this evening, and he still has a wealth of knowledge. So it sounds like, Rod, if you'll be open to it, we may have to do a part 2 one day in the near future when your schedule and everybody's schedule permits. I think we need to do a part 2, because this is just a little surface, just a scratch of the surface in terms of different ways to go deep, you guys, to really explode your business. And maybe we may try to get it in before the end of the year so we can start to align ourselves with 2022. Right, like being in a position to do something different in 2022, and I think this really should be a part of everybody's repertoire in terms of digital marketing. Because if you're not involved in that, then you might as well just go ahead and sit on the side, man, and just watch everybody else go by. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna jump inside the stream, then this is how you need to do it, and this is the direction that you need to go in. So we definitely appreciate it.
And we only have 2 more episodes, 2 more broadcasts this year before the end of the year. So it's amazing, because the content that we are actually in, and those of you that are watching, understand that usually you have to pay thousands of dollars for this information. Thomas and I are bringing you rich content that you can apply to your business now. So make sure that you actually like and share the video, and make sure you share with somebody else who's a business owner, and let them know, hey, you need help with your business? Let me show you how. Join Dinner with the Coaches and listen. Join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. We're going to continue consistently bringing you content that's going to help you in your business now.
Amen.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. When Thomas called, I could not pass up opportunity. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you for accepting his invitation.
Yes. And Sister Lewis, I went to your page. I said, this lady is sharp. I got to be on this call. She got herself together.
God the glory.
I love that necklace. I love that necklace.
Thank you. It's one of my pieces, and I don't know if you see it. I'm always marketing. I'm always talking to my audience. because I realized that the biggest thing you can do is influence. If you can be great at influence and then take that influence and know how to, because one thing I've always said, and you probably heard me say it a couple of times, know, like, and trust. When people get to know you, they begin to like you and they trust you. So when I say buy this necklace, you trust that I'm going to give you information, whether it's in education or in products and service. You know that I'm going to be a person of my word, and I'm going to give you something of value. And that's what I've learned from Jim Rohn, is that value. You have to worry about.
Yeah, mine too, boy.
Value. I tell you, they are like, between Bob Proctor and Jim Rohn and Miles Monroe. I tell you, I have all. I used to see my audio books and physical books. I'm always constantly learning, because I realize that success is duplicatable. It's duplicatable. So I'm grateful that you accepted the invitation and you gave us so much information. I can't wait to get behind the scenes and really get to talk to you as we normally do. That's amazing. We benefit from each other. So I appreciate you accepting the invitation. And yes, I agree with Thomas. We have to do it.
Thomas, just let me know when. I would love to. Just let me know when in advance.
Yes, definitely. And thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions, if you are watching us live, put it in the comments. We'll still be here to answer your questions. Even if we're not live, we'll be here to answer your questions. If you are watching us on the replay, make sure you put #replay and let us know what tools you're using in your business. And we'll be glad to be, and who's to say, maybe you'll be on our show. Maybe you'll be on the Dinner with the Coaches the next time, offering just like Robert, Thomas, and I are doing this day. So thank you guys for watching. It's been amazing.
Let's let Rodney, let's let him close it out. Tell them how to get in contact with him, Rod.
Yes.
Oh, great. Hey, you can reach out to me. Anyone that reach out to me, I'd be love to give you some free marketing tools, the 101 marketing tool. The first 25, again, you can reach me at support@rodneyepps.com, support@rodneyepps.com. And remember, love helping special our community, because we really need to know it. And the reason why this is so important, Thomas, when I went to the marketing summit this year, right, it was less, and it was over close to about 30,000 people there, and I promise you it was less than 50 of us there, and it was really sad. The game has changed. We're still passing out flyers and brochures thinking that we're going to build a multi-million-dollar business. It's a tragedy what's taking place right now. So thank you so much, guys. Look forward to being a part of your show again. Have a nice day.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. We enjoyed our guests, and we hope you did too. So make sure, today is Sunday. Make sure you join me in the Wisdom Clinic on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And I will, and also join Thomas on Sundays on his website. Thomas is giving out some major wisdom on Sunday. So make sure you join Thomas at what time? You
7:30 a.m. Eastern.
He's up with the cow, with the coach, with the pros. Yes, he's up with the pros.
Let's go.
We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.
Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Get you $1 or something. Why you be all on my line?